Thank you for joining us here at the Star Wars Tides of Change Facebook group, and today we are playing Week 2, Episode 1 of Star Wars Destiny Horizon, and with me are all 4 players. So, Gabe, how's it going?
Everything's all right, and yourself?
Ah, you waited! Yes! Doing fine.
I was going to just keep going. That would have been funny.
That would have been a tradition.
Nah, I have to be nice. I'm doing great. It's been a couple good weeks, and love your Ashes. I can't wait for this to continue.
The Gabe robot has spoken.
Or the dust.
Uh-oh.
All right, so Gabe's just like, no. And Ethan, how you been doing this past 2 weeks?
Just waiting. Just trying to get through the work week and be like, I gotta get to this game. I gotta play this game right now. Why isn't it Sunday? So I'm excited to be here. Ready to go. Let's do this.
Excellent. Azel.
I'm in the same boat. I started a new job basically the day after we finished, and so it's been just waiting the entire time. Like Ethan was just like, man, work's good, but I just want to play some Star Wars.
Fantastic. Yeah, I actually just started a new job myself. Got contacted by one of my old managers who was like, do you want your old position back? I really need people. I'm looking at my phone like, how did you know I needed a job? I put my phone up to my ear and I'm like, Sundays are a religious day. 24 hours of no contact and no work. And she's like, okay, deal. I was like, yes.
Well,
and
congrats.
Brian, you missed out last time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your character and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm playing Dr. Valerie Eftishui. She is an archaeologist. And, well, let's see. I'm trying to think what's the best way to describe her. Well, she sort of does things on her own and not necessarily the way that most other scientists do, which might get her into some trouble. But basically, she's a good, kind person, and she's not cruel or anything, but sometimes she gets a little too into her work and might get a little bit, well, wait, I have to do this first, and I have to do that. Well, no, that's not going to work. Wait, oh, no, that's my shoe. I mean, things like, stuff like that. And
kind of like absent-minded?
Slightly.
In a way? Yeah,
but,
that makes sense.
So, and as for me, I'm a long-time gamer. I started in 1983 with D&D. And
nice.
Played some of the other, in what do you call it, the variations of Star Wars that have been out. First FASA, and then I think the other was WotC, and not FASA, West End Game. Was it West End FASA? No, West End Games, yeah. And then the other one, which was, I know a lot of people didn't like that one. I had fun with it. And then this one, which I like. And then I think it's been a year now, because it was right before, it's been over a year since I started playing online, which I've never done. I've seen a few of the videos and thought, well, this looks kind of interesting. And I watched a very long Call of Cthulhu episode one time, and they were doing the Horror on the Orient Express, and that kind of did it. I thought, I should try and find some group. And then I found the Star Wars thing, and I thought, well, this is perfect, because I wanted to try the thing out.
Fantastic.
So
Excellent. Well, you watched the last episode, correct?
I did.
All right. Well,
I have one question.
The sorrow, the sadness, the angst. Oh my God.
Yes, Grikaza.
I have one.
Afterwards, the end.
I have one important question.
Yes.
What's Valerie's policy on ripping off people's arms?
If it's like ripping off your fingernails, no. Oh, what you mean? If somebody does it, or?
Well, like let's, in a hypothetical situation, say we were in a combat situation and I deemed it necessary to rip somebody's arm off. How would she feel?
She'd scream and faint.
All I needed.
So Grikaza, fortunately, not only is the limb ripper, but he can also carry an unconscious body. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 package.
So she
all right. Well,
so
let's start off, shall we? We are going to start off with the sounds of flasks and other lab equipment clinging together. You don't really see anything right now. It's just a dark room. But all of a sudden, a blinding light pierces through the corner of the room and filters the entire area with light. There are several scientists panicking, one of which is Valerie. You guys have just received word that after months of research with no activity, it appears the Sith Artifact in orbit has activated. And although most of you were at home quarters down on the planet, Ansarea, you do have a shuttle waiting to take you back up to your ship, the Folly. Where you are right now is actually a small wing of your corporation, the Oberon Institute of Technology. It doubles as a university as well as corporate research labs for artifacts and different situations where science that necessarily might be questionable in the public's eye or hard to fund in the public's eye will be conducted. In this particular instance, there are a lot of people scrambling down in this room to grab items that might be relevant to the research of the artifact, including other artifacts themselves. So you see other archaeologists shouting at interns, "So be careful, don't drop that," as they're gathering. One of them turns on the TV to I mean, that's the best way to find out what's going on, is a holo vid of the news network of Ansarea, especially since this planet as a whole is pretty scientific. You know, you guys have realized that technology begets military, begets diplomacy. So for the most part, the entire populace is interested in science as a whole. There aren't a whole lot of athletic sports on the HoloNets here, but you do see every news channel has a smattering of the Sith Artifact up in orbit glowing. Now, from the planet's surface, even though it's broad daylight, it does look like a small shimmering cylinder is flickering in the sky. There's people outside taking pictures of it with their data pads. But what really has you guys antsy is that it appears that the Secretary of Defense of Ansarea has contacted the governor and has ordered an evacuation mandate. People are preparing to flee the planet. Part of the reason why is because nobody knows what this Sith artifact does. No one knows for sure if it's not a weapon or if it's some teleportation device. And based on the recommendation of the rebel fleet that sits in orbit defending the device, apparently what happened to Alderaan could potentially happen here if this is a weapon. And people are just getting ready in case this device starts emitting something else than the abnormally large radiation spikes it has right now. But now all you're concerned about is you and your team need to get to the shuttle so you can get to the Folly as soon as possible. And I'm going to say with you, you have 3 interns on your team. They're like your lab assistants. One of them runs up to you holding a small box of scanning equipment that's used for on-site archaeological digs. Ma'am, is this everything that you need?
Yeah, well, bring that and bring that other thing that's over there. And that other one that's sitting next to the chair. But I think we'll be good because I have my stuff here. So how about you? Are you ready? And the other ones?
Yes, most of our stuff's actually on the Folly, sir. Or ma'am. Sorry. It's very nervous.
Where's Tittles? Is he here or is he up on the ship?
Tittles is on the ship.
Oh, good. I couldn't find him. I didn't know. I thought maybe he went somewhere, but good. So,
he's been wandering the halls of the ship. We caught him in the library investigating our electrical equipment.
He does that. It's okay. Just keep him away from anything liquid.
Well, when we get back to the ship, we can handle that.
Okay.
The captain's waiting for us.
Oh, we should go.
Oh, and by the way...
Yes.
Tarash says, don't bring anything you don't need. And the rest of the scientists, the Minister of Physics, Minister of Astrophysics, the chemist biologists, they're all representing different parts of Ansarea on the ship right now, waiting for you.
Anything I don't need. Well, I think I've got everything that I do need. So anyway, we should go.
Yeah, so the group of you kind of grab your boxes, head out one of the side doors to the lab, and just like school, this has like a small maintenance area in the back where they could drive some maintenance equipment. You can already hear people screaming, shuttles taking off. Several of the agricultural ships are actually being told to leave first, and they're being escorted by the Rebel Alliance up into orbit. By agricultural ships, I mean Ansarea has been really unique in its botany experiments, where they've flown to other planets and loaded alien plantation into a ship and used hydroponics to grow them in the ship and then transport them back to Ansarea for research. So a lot of the Ansarea local plant life are on these emergency hydroponics vessels that are large enough to feed quite a few people. Should the planet have a natural disaster, should it have civil war, or even should it have famine, they can go up into orbit where the plants grow a little better and then send food back down. And these ships are massive. For those of us who are playing who don't know a whole lot about Star Wars ships, I couldn't find a ship that fit this description, so I invented it. What it is it's a long vessel. It's got a sphere on the back end that is nothing but glass, and the glass is tempered in different shades so that different amounts of radiation can be let in depending on what type of plant. In the back, it's probably 20 stories tall, so there's quite a bit of food being grown in there. And then the long fuselage of the ship is all about irrigation, water purification, manufacturing, and then the front of the ship has the crew quarters and the bridge and stuff. Relatively defenseless. It does have a hyperdrive, constant need of escort. Fortunately, the Rebel Alliance is here to help you guys out with that. So as you see this large aircraft carrier ship lift up and start heading into orbit, three X-Wings fly overhead with their S-foils in locked position, escorting them up to the atmosphere. Valerie, what is your opinion of the Rebel Alliance and their presence here?
Well, they seem to be helpful. I mean, they haven't really gotten, really bothered us much. I mean, they've been protecting us and having to deal with the Imperials, and and the only thing with the Imperials, I don't think they're really interested in what this thing is and how old it is and what its history is. I think they just want a new weapon. They want something else that will go around and destroy planets. So I think having them here is wonderful.
Excellent. I'm going to actually say that your interns share your opinion.
Okay.
Because being on Ansarea, you would choose interns of like-minded politics and interests. So you guys flocked your way down the university square. Students are waiting for vessels and shuttles to come and pick them up. Luckily, you guys have a ride waiting for you that's going to take you over to the starport. So it doesn't take you guys long to get into your small shuttle and transfer off. And you and the other interns kind of find themselves looking up out the window at the Sith Artifact. It seems to be growing brighter and glowing brighter and brighter and brighter, and it has a purple haze to it.
Does that mean anything to me in particular?
Well, when it started, it was blue. But it seems like the device, which is ring-shaped, it seems to have a purple cone funneling out and reaching for something. Whereas before it was just a glow, now it seems it's actually starting to take form and grasp out into space.
Like it's possibly going to open something.
Or it's reaching to grab something.
Okay.
Could be opening. You guys had always imagined it going the opposite way. If it was a vortex, the cone would go inward and you would travel in it. But this almost looks like the funnel of a tornado is inverted and going the other direction. So it doesn't take you guys long to get to the space station, and everybody on the shuttle's trying to motion you forward. They're like, come on, we gotta move, we gotta beat the traffic. Everybody kind of scrambles their way. One of your interns drops a box. You hear several things smash, but they just pick it up and
Ooh,
continue running
I won't
towards the
say
shuttle.
anything.
I wouldn't say it was their fault because there is a lot of panic going on,
No.
but you could tell they're really upset with themselves. You guys open up the shuttle door, and there's Tittles standing in the doorway. And before Valerie is this ancient-looking robotic humanoid. That would probably be the best way to describe it, but its limbs looks like it has bubbled joints. Spherical beads between the hands and the shoulders, and same with the legs. It almost looks kind of goofy, like it was designed for a child compared to a lot of today's cybernetics. But you could tell if you were a historian, or even if you had an interest in history, that this was possibly one of the very first real motions towards artificial intelligence, as they didn't care so much about making it look like a human as much as they cared about making it function like a human. And it's just standing there in the ramp, cocking its head at you.
Here, I go up to it. Here, honey, take these, and I take off my like a what do you call, like a big bag with the what is it?
Satchel.
Satchel. Thank you. And this. Go take these to my quarters.
Yeah. What kind of noises does it make? It's entirely up to you.
Beep.
All right. So it's like beep boop 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 boop.
And
Picks it up.
she carries, and on her wrist, she's got like a thing where she reads what she can understand what he says that way. So she looks at it if there's anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's like beep bop a bop bop, and you see him when he turns to walk, his hip rotates first to make sure nothing's behind him, and then his legs go clonk, clink, clonk, 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 and he continues on his way. So it does take him a little while to move around, but apparently not only was he giving you the affirmations, but it looks like that the interns may have already started rushing into your quarters to drop some of the stuff off.
Okay.
The shuttle's not very big, and it doesn't really have a huge storage area. The ramp doesn't even close all the way before the pilot lifts off. So you kind of get the wind going, and then the ramp seals as the shuttle blasts off into orbit. Meanwhile, on the Destiny horizon, there are red lights blaring all throughout the ship. Crew is moving to consoles. They're checking on the status of the ship. People are in defensive positions, but they're not heading for turrets as much as they're heading for interior defensive positions. So there are certain hallways of the ships where the soldiers reach over on the wall and they grab a handle, they twist a lock, and then pull out a defensive barrier that locks down into the hallway, and they're just standing there with their guns drawn, waiting. But a lot of the foot traffic of the soldiers are heading towards the hangar, which is built in the front part of the ship. And in the hangar, Krakaza, whose hair is slightly singed and standing on end, is sheening with a dark purple reflection. Our Bothan friend stands next to our Wookiee, staring at the casket that has opened up. And several soldiers have run out to Corrin's side. Lieutenant, what do we do? Before you guys is a large thrumming crystal that has levitated out of the coffin, and it's just pulsating.
Do we have anybody with like scanners to kind of read if there's anything going on with it?
I don't know. Let's have you make our first roll, which is going to be a leadership roll, average difficulty. And I'm going to give you a bonus because you've just been promoted, so you can take a boost die. But before we do that, I'm going to need everybody to roll Destiny and give me all of the dark side. So, for those of you who don't remember how to do this, and we're always going to go over this recap even for our viewers. We're going to do this for our viewers as well. Is up in the top right, you've got a little newspaper icon. You can click on that, and what you should be looking for under the Players tab is your character sheet.
Got it.
double click on your character sheet, and before you guys do anything, I have to make sure that the dice pool is reset. So, pool, force player update. There we go. You guys are force updated. Now, to roll, when you go to your character sheet, you see where it says Destiny Pool below all your like wound threshold and stuff?
Yes.
To the left of that, it says Sync Pool GM. Click that first. You'll only have to click that the one time that we start. And then once you're done with that, click Roll Destiny on the bottom.
Fuck.
Okay, so Grakaza rolls 2 light side. It looked like Corin Reed had accidentally read yours twice.
Oh, okay.
And Valerie, so I should have 2 dark side versus 3 light side. So I'll fix that and then I'll update your pools.
Okay.
Be worse.
Are we re-rolling?
There we go. No. So once you look at your character sheets, you'll see it says 3 light, 2 dark. Okay. So now, if you would be so kind, Corin, roll me a leadership against an average difficulty, but you do get a boost die. How you do that is on your dice pool, which is below the Destiny pool. You're going to click the up arrow where it says blue. You're going to put 2 purple, where it's got the purple triangle on the right hand side. And remember what we figured out last time, you need to click on an empty space of the character sheet.
Yeah.
Because that'll actually set it and it won't botch it up.
Okay.
Then you scroll down to your skills, which is in your skills page of your character sheet. And then just click the D20 all the way to the right side of leadership.
Alrighty, here we go.
And that will automatically add the difficulty and the boost, just like so. You take a strain. Why don't you describe to me why you're straining? How does your character portray the strain? Are you just like, oh, or maybe are you screaming? Like, what's the deal? You did succeed, though.
He's straining just because this thing was able to knock Grakaza on his ass, and he has no earthly idea. Like, his first idea was probably shoot it, but he knows, being recently promoted, he can't just go guns blazing. He has to, you know, believe in his soldiers and stuff like that, and maybe put them at risk. So he's kind of, you know, like, the weight of having command is kind of, you know, is just getting on him at first, because, you know, this is his first real decision to make.
Excellent, excellent. So you did succeed, and your original question was to see if you could get somebody with scanning equipment up here, correct?
Yeah.
Since you succeeded, I'm going to say that you start barking orders to the men. What do you say to the men? I mean, they are your soldiers. So
Yeah.
how do you get scanning equipment up to where you're at?
Look to... Is Sasha nearby? The crew chief or the hangar chief?
Yeah, Sasha's nearby, and if you remember, the commander's also there. The commander and Jurg came in at the same time.
I'm going to tell the 2 soldiers, keep the crystal covered. I'm going to try to get everybody else to fall back and take cover behind whatever objects they can. And I'm going to ask the commander if he can get in communication with the bridge or with any of our science people to bring one of them down here to start scanning it, see if it's an actual threat or not.
Grakaza, you happen to know a scientist that might be an expert on this particular device, considering she helped you retrieve it. So as you see, the soldiers are covering the crystal with their rifles. All the hangar crew start clearing the hangar and taking cover behind those blast barricades that I was telling you about. The commander starts notifying the bridge, and Sasha's there nodding to you as you give her the orders, Corin. But Grakaza has this look of recognition on his face.
LT, may I make a suggestion?
Of course.
I think I know the person to investigate this object.
Who might that be?
We need to get Val up here.
He kind of shakes his head because he knows that he probably owes her. So he goes, Commander, is there a way that we can get Dr. Chewy here?
God, I hate that last name, the commander says. He's like, Destiny, patch me through to orbital communications. You hear the bridge go, yes, sir. Comms are open, sir. Alright, do you see the folly anywhere? Yes, sir, it's actually really close to the ring. It appears they're, doing some scanning. Can you get in contact with them? It's gonna be a little tough because of the radiation. Does anyone in the group who's present want to try to assist the comms in connecting with the folly? This is going to rely on a computer's check.
Oh.
Of course I'm gonna assist.
Alright, they're like, yeah, we're having a hard time triangulating on its position. The radiation's really bad.
But I thought what I did earlier was working. Let me see if I can adjust this. And we need to adjust the singularity of that. And I'll kind of go through a couple things and start switching dials and getting a pinpoint on, trying to figure out, to do the comms correctly.
Yeah, so Sasha runs you over to the hangar's comms unit. It's going to be against 3 purple because the radiation has exponentially spiked since the last time you locked onto the communications. So you're trying to get in touch with the folly, and I need you to roll a computer's check.
All right, and who me kind of helping me do it, but working with me. Let's put it that way.
Sasha can help you, yeah. Actually,
Okay.
the commander would probably be the one helping you. She's just a hangar chief. So let's say the commander's helping you, so I'll throw a blue die on that.
All right, and we already see this crystal already spinning and arcing and doing different things, or
It's right now it's just floating above the casket, and it has not done anything aggressive other than float
Okay.
there.
I'm not sure if that thing is diluting the signals or anything. Maybe we can use it to our advantage if that is what's causing it. Could we have some kind of shield brought in between us?
Okay, yes, that's a great idea. And all of a sudden the commander turns to Grakaza and he's like, put a blast shield around that.
Understood, sir.
So Grakaza, this is where your explosive expertise comes into play. So go ahead and make your computer check with a... oh wait, yeah, let's wait until Grakaza does his thing, because that might make your roll easier. Grakaza, I'll let you roll any skill you want. I suggest rolling a mechanics. I suggest... Yeah, I also suggest maybe rolling a gunnery, because you can use your knowledge in gunnery or even heavy ranged to understand how this thing could potentially blow up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, without a scientist on board, you're just kind of playing guesswork.
I'll roll off my mechanics skill.
Okay, go ahead and roll your mechanics skill against 2 purple. Asking the Wookiee to put something in a big blast-proof box wouldn't be out of the ordinary. You failed. Unfortunately, that does not mean that you fail in setting up the box. You do get an advantage, though, so you could pass that as a boost die to your computer check.
That's what I'm going to do.
But what it's saying is that your blast shield, so you set up this, it almost looks like a riot barricade, and then a small burp blue shield goes around it. Apparently the interference that you are detecting, Yurg, is not coming from the crystal. So despite the fact that it is in a blast shield, that did not assist. However, he did pass a boost die to you, so now you get 2 boosts. One for the commander helping, and one for the dice passed to you by Grakaza. But it's still going to be against 3 purple. Unless you'd like to spin a light side, I mean.
That's okay, Kaza. I just thought that that it would be splitting hairs, if you would say. But if you're saying it won't really work, then I'll have to believe you. But good thing you have it there anyway.
Just do what you got to do.
Do what I have to do. Ah, is that a metaphor of some sort of what I owe you?
No,
Dear
just
God.
just use the computer.
Oh, okay. Good. I was hoping you wouldn't
Oopsie-doopsie.
bring that up again.
Wow.
Do you mind if I give you a suggestion for all that advantage?
Wow.
All that advantage. I only see 4. No, I'm just kidding. Sure. What do you have in mind?
You find out how to set the comms frequency to a certain voltage that the radiation has no effect on it, and you could tell the entire fleet that. That way, no ship in the sector has to worry about comms problems.
Okay. So with my dials that I'm moving around and kind of doing it, you can see I probably put a little bit more voltage into it, expecting probably the lights to kind of dim out just a little bit, and overcompensating for the radiation that's in the area. And I'll point that out. I mean, like, okay, so I put this a little bit higher than it should be. I hope this works. And you kind of see me like cringe a little bit and looking at the light, and I'll go ahead and up, do the final pushing or pulling of the lever to actually help operate the comms. And I'll be like, "You're to the bridge. Can you hear me?"
Bridge is like, we read you loud and clear, and we just got in contact with Folly. Great work, Yard.
It wasn't all me. It was everybody down here working together in concession with each other. Let me pass you on to the lieutenant. Lieutenant, you are free to communicate with the bridge, or even look at commander.
The commander does step forward, and he's like, good job. Pats your back, and then turns on his heel and starts heading for the bridge personally. However, the Mon Calamari, he seems to take a little more interest into it, and he steps up to the comms, and he's like, great work! With this information, I could project the frequencies to all the ships in the fleet. We should have no more communications issues breaking down on here.
Keep going.
No, that was it. He just sees everybody on the hangar giggling. He's like, what's so funny?
No,
I think they're making. I think they're making fun of me, Commander.
You have nothing to be made fun of. You are a skilled technician, and without your help, we would still be stuck in communications faux pas. What is so funny? The Mon Calamari gets annoyed, turns, and leaves the hangar and heads towards the bridge. The soldiers next to Koran are like,
All right, enough. It's your jobs.
he always yells, sir.
Well, that's just his personality.
I want this door open! You're yelling at the end of the hangar. Alright, so, we're gonna go ahead and move towards the camera pans across the hangar towards the crystal, and it's just thrumming as it floats above this casket. Meanwhile, in the orbit of the planet, Valerie, you're staring out one of the viewports as your shuttle's heading towards the Folly.
Okay.
And that's when you notice, now that the atmosphere is not obstructing your view, it is in fact reaching. It appears that the ring has a funnel that is extending and enlarging towards the Destiny horizon.
Ooh.
And the Folly is right
Ooh.
up close to it, running scans and stuff.
Ooh.
And right when they
Ooh.
do that, the communications...
Ooh, it's pointing to. Ooh, look.
Yeah.
Look.
Tittles takes his face and goes, bung, against the glass.
No, not you, honey. I meant the other ones.
Wop, wop, wop.
Oh.
The interns eagerly look, and they're like, fascinating. Why is it going after that ship in particular and not the Folly?
I don't know. Let's find out.
They're all
So-
like, all the data pads are out. It's like a bunch
So-
of girls outside the bathroom on their phones. Like,
So she goes up to wherever the con is, to where where she can contact.
it actually looks like you're receiving a comms.
Oh.
The
Oh.
pilot's like, I was about to get that, but if you'd like to.
Oh, I will. Thanks. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. The shuttle went to the Folly. Who is this?
It's your captain, Captain Fla.
Oh, hi. Hey, there's something going on between this and the Destiny Horizon. There's a beam of something connecting to it. Are they having a problem or something?
Yes, in fact, actually, that's why I'm messaging you. I need you to change course and head for the Destiny Horizon's docking bay. Apparently, that Sith Artifact you recovered with that Wookiee last month,
Yeah.
it's opened. And according to what the commander says, there is a large purple crystal that has emerged from it and is now floating in the middle of the hangar.
Ooh,
They have it detained around all of a sudden the comms cut,
Go.
and
she's
he's
hitting
like,
the back of the pilot.
the pilot's like,
over
okay, Valerie, I'm going. Jesus Christ.
And then she's
Meanwhile,
like,
on the
"Take that
Folly,
scanner out of the bag. No, not that one. That's too big.
are you sure it's got a bigger antenna?
Well, bring that too.
Bring both?
Yeah, no, not that one. That's some extra clothes I was going to put on the ship.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'll get them and I'll bring them to you.
She was like this when we went last month. It's
Meanwhile, on the Folly, Flaw's still talking, and the comms officer's like, sir, Mr. After Chewie has cut the comms, sir. He just shakes his head and walks away. So the shuttle turns on its axis and starts making an approach towards the Destiny Horizon. And the other thing that you may notice, especially here being in the cockpit looking out of the small shuttle, the corvettes that the Rebel Alliance has brought with their fleet, they're beginning to take a defensive parameter around the planet, as the Rebel Alliance and the government of Ansarea have both kind of communicated their concern that this could potentially be a weapon. They're also distancing themselves from the Destiny Horizon, whose shielding is starting to flicker and change color a little bit as this funnel is reaching out towards it. You can tell that the Destiny Horizon has taken evasive course, but being a frigate, it's not like U-turning. It is taking a while to make this defensive vector. A lot of the other ships that they've brought with them, gunboats, dreadnoughts, they're all starting to fan an array around the planet, waiting to take aim at that Sith Artifact. And that kind of hits you hard. They're aiming at the artifact. Every single gunboat in the Rebel Alliance. Y-Wings and B-Wings are flying overhead, getting ready for potential bombing runs if needed. And then, of course, X-Wings are escorting the Destiny Horizon itself. The only civilian ship, by the way, that's ballsy enough to get that close to the artifact is the Folly.
Oh. Does Valerie see this with all the changing direction, and it looks like they're all going to be there?
Oh, yeah. In fact, imagine yourself emerging out of orbit with all of the other ships trying to evacuate.
Yeah.
And you realize that the Rebel blockade around the planet is actually more of a caution tape, saying don't go any closer to this artifact. And they're just holding their guns at the ready to where if it blows the Destiny Horizon up, they're going to obliterate it.
Oh, I go back to the pilot. Get Flaw back.
Stop hitting me!
Oh, sorry.
Have you ever just tried to say? Oh my God! Here,
I'm
you
sorry,
do it.
I forgot. All right. Well, here I'm hitting the buttons. Well, okay. Well, wait. No, there we go. Okay. Captain Flaw.
They're like, Flosser, you're receiving a message from the shuttle. And he's like, well, why did... And he turns on his heel and comes back to the console. Yes, Valerie. Do you have news already?
No. But what are these ships? If they're not gonna shoot the artifact, are they?
They've been ordered by the Secretary of Defense of Ansarea to shoot the artifact if it appears like a weapon.
Oh, well, tell them no. They can't blow
That's
this
why
thing
we
up.
are up here. We are the only ship trying to figure this thing out at the moment. Just go do your job and figure out what the Destiny Horizon has.
We're on our way. We're on our way. Just call who's ever in charge and tell them, don't shoot anything. Unless it's an Imperial. But then, that's a different story.
He cuts the comms.
All right, go ahead and go.
So,
No, not that box.
the pilot's flinching, and it's like, ma'am, can I have the cockpit, please?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Are you still sitting in it?
Oh, let me get up. Hold on.
Yeah, so as soon as you leave, he shuts the door, locks it, and pulls a flask out from underneath the console. And then he starts to request permission to dock on the Destiny Horizon. Meanwhile, on the Destiny Horizon, the calamari storms over with Sasha towards Corin Reed. Get your men in a defensive position around the hangar. A shuttle's incoming. Valerie is going to analyze the crystal and tell us if we need to worry about anything.
Roger that, sir. And I tell the, troops, defensive perimeter, shuttle incoming.
Should we still watch the crystal, sir?
Take half your men to watch it, the other half get a defensive perimeter so that shuttle can land safely.
They nod. You see a sergeant ordering his team. Krakaza, the demolitions team forms up on you. They're like, we're the ones watching the crystal. What do you want us to do?
Well, gents, I have no idea what this thing is doing. It definitely wasn't doing that the last time I saw it. So we just kind of put on standby, because I don't know what to do.
You see this gruff, bald, not completely bald like my bald, engineer combatant who's in your team. He's got a large, thick, Jebediah-type beard. No mustache on the top, you know what I'm saying? And he's got a cigar in his mouth, and he's like, So, you gonna rip the arms off the crystal, or we gonna blow it up?
Do you want to be doing push-ups until the LT gets tired again?
Touche, he says as he... What's the game plan? How are we gonna approach this?
Alright, gents, game plan is this. You get any available shields you can, and you bring it in here. If they're needed, we put them down immediately. If not, we just go on standby. I don't want to risk anything with this. I don't want to touch it, because you saw what touching it did to me.
All of a sudden, this really skinny guy with sunken-in cheeks. He's fairly tall. He's part of your demolitions team as well, and he's missing a couple fingers on his left hand. He's like, Yes, Grikaza, I don't agree with everything that you're saying, but you touched casket. You did not touch crystal. So how do we know what crystal will do it to you, not casket? It could be as simple as going up and touching casket.
That's a brilliant suggestion. Why don't you lose the other fingers on your hand, then?
Yeah, I'm going to wear gloves this time, if you'll allow it.
Well, you have permission to touch the crystal if you were that brave.
Right, because we check casket, we not check crystal. You know, worth look at. Alright.
You can go ahead and check the crystal. But
Look,
if you do...
let's get him
you're
some
taking the
hazard shielding. I'm sure we got some equipment here in the hangar that we can use. Maybe
Like I
Sasha
said, go
will
get
know.
whatever shielding you can. Bring it back in here. We'll set a perimeter up. Make sure that nothing gets out of hand.
Your squad departs, leaves you standing there by the shields. Corin, your squad nods and starts to prepare to clean the hangar for a ship. They're not going to aim guns at it because they know it's Valerie's ship, so it's not like they're needed for that. But if anything, their plan, and you know this from just basic evacuation protocols. The moment Val's shuttle comes in and the landing ramp comes down, they're going to grab whoever's coming down the ramp, lower their head, and they're going to roadie run to the nearest bit of cover. So it's basically like, move, move, move. So they start fanning out and preparing for the shuttle, and you see them on their hands and knees with their head tucked down so that when the ship comes in and starts hovering down, they don't get blasted into a wall or any other type of plating. So they form up pretty well. You're standing there with Grikaza and Yurg like, yep, all of our Goonies just run off.
I'm gonna tell the guys, let's find some cover where they're gonna bring the doctor, so we can give her the information that we have, as far as we know, about the artifact.
I'm good with that plan, and I say that as I'm like patting my hair down.
It looks like Grikaza's one of Grikaza's soldier, a wirely Irishman type guy, starts setting up a kind of like an HQ plate. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but that was back in the early days of nuclear testing, where they put up a panel with a window in it, and there's a table on the other side, so that they could sit there with their binoculars protected from the blast. That's probably where you guys are going to meet.
Okay.
And he's setting it up, like, humming to himself. You know he's a good Alderaanian kid, Grikaza.
Let's go over to O'Brien over there.
Alright, so
Alrighty.
the three of you head to O'Brien. He looks up and he's like, Right, sirs. That's in top-tip shape. All you have to do is hide behind here and you'll be well protected. I assume they'll be able to get Valerie back here as well.
They better be.
Alright, just remember, sir, please don't get mad again. That leg is a wee bit wobbly after last time you hit the table.
I'll do my best to be careful.
Yeah, she's a fragile one. We really don't have anything else to replace it.
Like I said, I'll be careful. Don't worry, O'Brien.
So O'Brien turns on his heel and starts meeting with the others. You hear a small argument between the three of them. Alright, I'm gonna take this shield. How come you always take good shield? I've already been wounded. This is, what do you say, bullshit. And
How close are they to me?
up. They're like just on the other side of the room. Irishman comes up and goes, alright, boys. I'll take it. Problem solved. And they just kind of shove each other, but, you know, they're not goofing off to the point to where they can't get anything done. You just know that when you work in explosives and every mission is most likely your last mission, you always fight over the best equipment. Yeah.
Also, I like how he
all the
basically gave me,
impacts.
like, the Inglourious Bastards of the Star Wars.
I was just thinking about how it looks like everybody at the UN just quit their job and joined a bomb team. Like,
Honestly, I'm cool with that.
so the shuttle you guys see coming, approaching the ship, it whips around and flies right through the shielding, no problem. Lands. Corin, your men, just as Plant talked about, the ramp lowers. A few interns come out with boxes. They're immediately grabbed by your guys and Rhodey run over to you. And the interns just start pulling shit out, like 5 different scanners. There were also 4 different data pads. They all have different sizes and different capacities, and they're starting to straighten them out on the table as they go. And coming down the ramp is Valerie. Valerie, describe yourself as you come down the ramp, since this is the first time anybody's seen what she looks like.
She's about 5'6", 5'7". She's blonde, blue eyes. She's very shapely. Doesn't seem like the type that might be a scientist, but she is.
More the cheerleader type.
Exactly. She's dressed in a pair of green khaki pants with like big pockets, like cargo pants, and a black vest and black boots and a yellow shirt that's cut rather low. So everything's kind of there. So she's, to her that kind of stuff she doesn't mind it. She likes being a girl. Let's put it that way. So,
that makes sense. So the soldiers run up to you and they're like, "Ma'am, keep your head down," and they just kind of put their hand on the shoulder blades and dip you down.
Does she see the thing? Can she see the thing?
It appears to be covered.
Okay.
There's a big.
Where is it?
You just see a lot of. Well, you kind of know where it is because it looks like they've built a partition around it.
Yeah.
But you can't get a good angle from where you're standing.
Well, so look, I need to see the thing.
Before you even say anything, they just lower you at a
Okay.
40-degree angle and start running you over to where apparently the commanding officer is. And what's really funny about this blast partition that you guys are standing behind the HQ1 is that Kaza is still peering over the top of it, as it's really not built for Wookiees. But Grakaza kind of sees this woman being rushed over.
Oh, hi, Brakaza, if I see him.
Oh, yeah. You definitely see his, like, the first thing you notice is his hair is just like, standing on end and still smoking a little bit.
Oh, what happened to your head?
Yeah, she says that as she comes around.
It's a long story, not really, but basically I touched the sarcophagus and it blew up on me.
Oh, the thing that the thing is in? It did
Yes,
that
the
to
thing
you?
that we recovered a month ago. Yes,
Oh,
it's touched it because
This-
already. Wait, go ahead.
No, just real quick, I'll let you continue, but like as Valerie's listening to you, her eyes wander down and she realized that the interns brought the wrong scanners.
oh no, not those. Go get. Oh, is the shuttle still here? I know we brought them. Go back and see.
Val, focus.
Oh, okay. Oh, what your hair? Oh, your hair. So that did that to.
Yes,
Okay.
it did this. That's what I've been fixing for the last 5 minutes while I've been up.
I might have something with me that will
Ma'am.
help you.
Ma'am,
What?
I think we left the other scanner on the planet.
All right. Well,
We'll have to do with these. They nod reassuringly, like, please don't get mad.
it's okay. We'll deal with that later. All right. Where's
Val, what did you
Tittles?
want my guys to do?
Don't get in the way. Just have them back. All right. So
No
when I
protocol
climb up
dictates
or
I can't
get
just
around, or actually, I want to
do the
try and
job.
see this. See the thing that's to see the
You
crystal.
just see it hidden behind a bunch of blast partitions. Grakaza's going to have to go up with his men and remove a few of them for you to actually see it.
Okay.
Right now, they just kind of surrounded it.
All right.
Jurg, what's your impression on the situation thus far?
Well, seeing that I have to get on top of the table to even look out the window area of it, because I really can't see much what's going on, and I see Valerie or Dr. F. Tachui come around. I'm thinking it's supposed to be this old man of a doctor of some sort, and I find it's a very brilliant looking woman. And I'd be like,
She's a big.
and you could tell that I'm like, that's not what I envisioned in my head of a doctor. And I'm just kind of like listening to what's going on, how she's splitting her attention in 3 different directions, and there's only 2 people talking. And just listening to the situation, I'm like, okay, I don't know how scanners and this and that are going to work. It's just a crystal. And those are just things from my ideas, and I'm just kind of like just listening, and I'm kind of getting all the information that's coming from both of them.
Jurg, could you roll a perception check with 2 difficulty?
Okay. And
make sure you clear your pool, which is the recycle symbol next to that D20 on the dice pool.
you know me so well.
You succeed, and you get 2 advantage. Alright, so out of the corner of your eye, you see that the comms unit that you were just looking at, a lot of the wiring is starting to glow purple.
Lieutenant, not to alarm you or anything, but it's too late because I said not to be alarmed. Have you ever seen a wire that's purple? Because we have them.
You mean colored purple?
I'm going to say that given his advantage, it's glowing. So
Glowing.
if you pointed out, it's like the wires are glowing purple.
Yeah. You know, wires that glow purple, kind of like those ones over there. I'm not sure what it means, but I don't think it has anything to do with the upgrade on the voltage that I put in.
Get in contact with the bridge.
Yes, Lieutenant. And you can kind of like, that was kind of cool to say. And I'll kind of go over to the comms, and I'm kind of like trying to not touch the glowing wires, but it's kind of hard to because it's going to already start connecting into, and I'm going to be like, give me, I'm trying to think of where we're at.
It looks like your communications have been overridden.
Yeah, but we're,
You're
you
in the
said
hangar.
it. Hangar, thank you. And I'll be like, bridge, hangar to bridge. Wait, since it isn't working. What? I just had it fixed. Oh, great. Command. Oh my God, Commander and Admiral Zalaz are gonna believe I didn't do a job, even though I did a job. And you can kind of like see I'm frustrated. I'm trying to get things calibrated again, and maybe more voltage will work. That's got to work. Yes.
Corin, I'm going to say that I need a perception check from you, and Grakaza, you're probably up with your guys getting ready to prepare the crystal, right? Taking down the plating.
Yep, still arguing with Val, but
Corin, roll an average check with 2 perception. And Grakaza, actually, you know what? I'm going to let you have a boost die from one of your advantages there. We'll say that one advantage was to point out the wires with that.
Okay.
any trouble.
What did you want?
Grakaza,
Sorry?
I imagine you're done arguing with Val.
For the moment, yeah. It's basically just a back and forth about protocol and not letting her near too close to the object and that sort of thing.
Okay, so how about you go over to your guys to get them ready, and Val, if you want, you can follow him.
I will.
Yeah, so...
Do I hear anything about the communication thing, or is that kind of farther away?
I think given everything that you're working... No, you know what? You're a pretty smart woman. I want you to roll... I want you to roll a cool.
Okay.
Your cool is your ability to multitask and handle everything without snapping. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So roll me a cool against 3 purple, because there's a lot going on.
Did you want me to still roll? Or?
Yeah, give me one moment. So you succeed, Corin. Keeping track of a bunch of rolls because it's going to play out into one scene.
Okay, I forgot how to do this on this thing.
So
okay,
in your skills tab,
yes,
which you're there, if you scroll up, the first thing you got to do is go to where it says Dice Pool. And under Dice Pool, you go up to where the two purple triangle is.
yes.
And you scroll to the right of it, and you see that up arrow. You click on it until it says 3.
Okay, got that.
And then once it says 3, just click on an empty space of the sheet. And that updates it.
Okay.
Now, did you want to spend a light side?
How many do we have?
3, and I have 2 dark.
Actually, I do.
Okay, so what you do is above the dice pool, you see how it says use light side?
Yes.
Click use light side.
Okay.
Excellent. And on the left side of the dice pool, the left side is your dice, the right side is the difficulty dice. You see where it says upgrade on that left side?
Yes.
Click that up 1.
Okay.
And then click on an empty space of your character sheet to update it.
Okay.
So we have 1 upgrade and 3 difficulty, and then what you do is you scroll down to where it says cool,
Yes.
and all the way on the right hand side of cool, there's a d20. So what we're doing is we're rolling 3 purple, but you've upgraded your cool check. So once you click the d20 to the right of cool, it'll just make the roll. Excellent. See how it did 2 yellow and 1 green instead of... It automatically calculates it. So you fail to hear anything about the comms.
Okay.
But I'm going to say that your advantage is that the interns are paying attention to what is being said, and they're listening, but you walk off with Grakaza.
Okay.
Grakaza,
Yes, sir.
you're moving towards your men, and one of them turns around, and the guy smoking the cigar is like elbowing the other guys, and they're pointing at Grakaza, and they're like, damn, she's got a body on her.
Do I hear this?
No, they're just kind of like, hey. And the Irishman's like, Criminy, oh, look at the way she walks. I could do more missions like this in the future.
Is there no women on this ship?
The only thing you know, Grakaza... Well, yeah, but they're all dressed like military personnel, so...
Oh.
The thing that you notice, Grakaza, is that they are no longer tearing down the partition like you asked them to.
I let out a very loud roar, as a Wookiee is wont to do when he's angry, and I...
Are you trying to intimidate them?
No, I'm just trying to... It's basically just like, what the hell are you doing? Get back to work.
Oh, what the hell are you doing? Get back to work. One of them's like, easy, Sarge. I didn't know she was with you. They all laugh and continue taking down the panels.
Watch the mouth, Smokey.
And as they're taking down the panels, that's when you see the crystal, Valerie. Dark royal purple, thrumming as it floats above the casket. But Grakaza, you're the one who's alarmed. Because it appears that the crystal has grown down through the middle of the casket and has started to spider out into the floor of the ship.
Is this free work order for oh shit?
I don't know.
I don't know. Val, it wasn't this big when I first got out of the sarcophagus. It's spreading.
All of a sudden, the guy with the beard elbows the other one. That's what he says to all the ladies.
Can I see
How
any of
close is
the?
Oh, he's within an arm slap.
Can I slap him?
Sure, you're just not trying to do it hard. You're just slapping.
No, it's basically just like a slap.
That's when the cigar flies out of his mouth and lands on the crystal on the ground. Once heat strikes the crystal, boom! All of you are blown back. Not like you were before Grakaza, but it's more like a burst of air that just sends everybody on their ass and sliding a little bit.
Is everyone
Val,
all right?
You also land on your ass.
And of course, she lets out a scream as she gets knocked back. That has to happen. So.
Absolutely. So, Karan, as you see this scene unfold in front of you, the thing that you notice is that the Destiny Horizon is starting to turn again and level its course with the ring. So instead of broadsiding it like intended, it appears that from your angle in the hangar that the ship is turning around. In fact, a lot of the fighters are scrambling to get out of its way. You also notice a purple haze starting to come over the front of the hangar's entrance.
I'm gonna yell to Jurg and ask him, are those communications up yet?
Lieutenant, not to alarm you, but no matter how much voltage I keep putting up, I don't want to slip any more wattage to mess things up. I'm not quite sure what is happening. Let me... yes, let me look. And I'll drop to my back and kind of like go underneath and start kind of figuring out wiring. And I'm like, oh crap, these wires are starting to glow purple, and you can see the glare of this purple hue shining over my face, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to work either.
You want to go back up and investigate the computer?
Yeah.
There's a screen, like that classic Star Wars screen where it's still text-based, even though it's the future. And you start seeing symbols you've never seen before. Just spout all over it. Not a symbol you've seen on this ship.
Lieutenant, I'm not to alarm you again, but too late. I've already alarmed you. You might want to come see this. I'm not quite sure what that writing is. And you can tell I just slowly, like, oh my god, what is this lettering? Just very slowly start articulating between words.
All right, Corin, do you approach?
I'm gonna first yell out for 3 soldiers to come to me. I'm gonna get 2 of them to help Grakaza and Val, since they got knocked back. I'm gonna tell the 3rd one to... he's gonna be my runner now, since we got no communications, to run up to the bridge and find out what's going on.
Okay, so that one salutes and takes off running. The other 2 go over, and they do start helping Grakaza up, because Valerie is already being helped up by 3 very nice gentlemen.
Okay.
There's a bearded guy helping her up, an Irishman dusting off her pants, and this really skinny, very tall man patting her back, like, it is okay, you know, sometimes explosives, they go off prematurely, but good engineers don't. And the guy
thank you for your help.
like, oh, that's all right. I mean,
and she's already starting to
someone
move to the thing.
Oh, all right, maybe later then. You had to open your big mouth, didn't you? Yeah, you know, we were having good conversation until you opened up your Alderaanian peephole. Look, I don't know what I said wrong. All I did was say...
up.
Yeah, you're being held up by the 2 guys. They're like, all right, and they start tearing the paneling down.
And I'm gonna go over to Jurg to see what the text-based stuff is.
Yeah, Jurg and Corin, I am going to need you to roll a xenology against 4 purple, since it's not even in your world of study.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Not bad. Not a terrible fail. All right. So, I imagine Jurg's like, oh, and Corin's just like, yeah. We'll say, I don't imagine you taking that much strain by just looking at lettering, but you're getting really mad because you're like, what the f is going on? You know, Jurg, what is the advantage? You've got 3 advantage. What advantageous thing happens in this situation?
I'm not sure how to connect. I'm still don't know how to connect the lettering and what the letters mean, but between what I'm looking at and trying to study just the letters and the way words are formed, and I'm looking at Lieutenant when he finally comes and he's looking at it, and the purple glow from the wires are starting to hit on his face, and I can see him kind of getting a little bit upset more than normal. Because he's not quick to anger, but I can tell the connection between his anger, the words, and the purple haze. There's a connection, and I don't quite grasp what it is, but I know it.
Excellent. That's perfect. We're going to head over to Valerie. Valerie, what are you doing at this moment?
Well, do I hear anything now about what he's talking about, the lettering?
You know what? Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I'm going to say an intern runs over to you.
Okay.
The scanning equipment's ready, but there's something funny going on with these consoles. I think I saw Sith lettering.
Oh, so show me.
So she runs over, and the intern pushes in between Corin and Jurg and pushes him out of the way. It's like, look, and she starts tapping the screen, and sure enough, it is ancient Sith writing.
This is ancient Sith. The ship is communicating with it. Actually, the crystal is using the ship to communicate to the
Given
device.
that you're an archaeologist, it doesn't take you very long to analyze it, but I am going to say that it takes you a good 2 minutes to put it all together. But apparently, it's detecting a signal coming off of the Destiny horizon and heading to another location several star systems away. And it's asking you if you would like to listen to it.
Yes.
So you hit accept.
Yeah.
Jurg, your face darkens. There's an Imperial distress call coming from inside the Destiny horizon and is being sent several star systems away. And this is where we're going to take our first break. We will be back in a few minutes to continue part 2 of 4 of the Destiny Horizon. We'll see you then.